People just say that, the soul will merge into the light and the soul will, just finish itself by merging into the Supreme Soul. Baba says nobody knows that drama. Nobody knows how this drama actually works. And nobody knows that souls are imperishable. It's not like a soul has a journey and then they go and merge in Baba and their journey stops. It's not like that. A soul is imperishable. The journey of the soul is imperishable, and Baba has given us the knowledge of the drama where we understand the journey of the soul, the 84 birth cycle of the soul, which keeps repeating itself. So this is a drama where a soul's part is imperishable, and every time we finish our 84 births, we start over again. And it identically continues. So this is something that people don't know, and Baba has given us the knowledge of this drama. So today I would like to just talk a little about this interplay between souls, Baba and time. So there is this significance of time also. Sometimes we understand the significance of the soul and the effort that the soul makes, but most people don't know what God does, and nobody knows that there is a pre-recorded part in the soul, and nobody knows what is the relation of our part with time. So I would like to just talk a little, or at least revise the knowledge of the drama today. So you see that every soul has a pre-recorded part. So every soul, so let's understand it like this, that we are all souls, and every soul is like a CD which is recorded. So just like when you go to a CD shop, all empty CDs are the same, but when they are recorded, then they are different from each other. But when they are different from each other, you cannot find out from their appearance in the CD shop. So when they are kept in the CD shop, they all look like the same. But when you put them in the player, then they sound different. So that's how it goes. So similarly, when we are all sitting in the soul world, we are like CDs in the CD shop. So there we all look alike, because there is no player, there is no stage, there is no body. So we are all just sitting there in our original form, without our part. So in the soul world, the soul has a part there also, the recording is there. But just like the recording cannot manifest itself without the player, so in the soul world there is no player, so the recording doesn't manifest itself. So we are all there sitting peacefully in the soul world. And then we come down, and so when we come down also, so only those CDs which have the deity part pre-recorded, they come down in the beginning. And in the beginning also, when we come down, then we are all we are all in a deity world. So let's understand the importance of time. So when it is Satyug, so in that time, only the deity part will emerge. So every soul, so I, the soul, let's take an example. So I, the soul, have 84 births of part recorded in me. I have the part of a deity, the recording of a deity part, the recording of a Bhagat part, the recording of a Brahmin part, the recording of an angel part, everything I have in me. But when it is time, so according to the time, a certain part emerges. So when you are in that Satyugi ambience, so it's the golden aged world where everything is pure and in harmony, then only the pure part of the soul emerges. The divine part, the harmonious part, that emerges. And then we play our part for 21 births. We are in Satyug and Treta Yuga, living harmoniously, expressing our sanskars of love and cooperation, and living in that world with happiness. And then as time changes, so there is entropy, which science talks about, and entropy increases, then that increase in the entropy brings out the vices in the soul. So there is a vicious part in the soul recorded, but that will only emerge when it is time. So just like you see, it's if you take it as an analogy, a very good analogy to understand this is that when a seed is sown in the ground, in soil, then the tree is in the seed, but it requires a certain climate, a certain season, water, sunlight for that seed to sprout into the plant. Similarly, all the part is inside the soul, but when the soul gets the required condition outside, so when the divine part is there in the soul, but only when it is a world of divinity it emerges. Then the Bhagat part is there in the soul, or the vicious part is also there in the soul, but it emerges when Ravan comes and when there is general negativity in the atmosphere. So when the entropy in the world increases, then the vicious part in the soul starts emerging. And then what happens is, so you see that every soul, so we all are passing through the same time. So let's say that there are 5 members in the family and you go through a similar situation. But then in that situation, everybody is responding in a certain way, but their response is different from each other. Why? Because their recording is different. Yes, but that situation is also important in bringing out the recording. And the recording, because it is different, so the reaction will not be the same. So the time in which we are playing our part, that time is responsible for bringing out what is there in the soul. But when the pressure of time comes, then only that which is inside you will emerge. Yes, so time is important and also the part is important. If I am a deity, I can be a deity in a deity world. I cannot be a deity in an Asuri world, because my part will emerge according to time. When it is an Asuri world, it is a devilish world, we will become devilish, but we will become devilish differently and deities differently, because it also depends on the part. So there is a relevance of time, there is a relevance of pre-recorded part also. And you see that I was very amazed when I used to see that Mahabharat, which was telecast, when I was a little child. And there was always this beginning where there was this earth rotating, and there was a voiceover which said, "Main samay hoon," so I am time. And I was always very excited to see that, and I used to think about who is this time talking. And when Baba comes, he tells us that actually time is a very important factor. So it is, so there is an individual part in every soul which is very unique. And just like, there is a recording which is recorded second by second, so our part is also recorded second by second, but it emerges according to time. So everybody's part is different. This is one amazing, wonderful truth that Baba tells us. Second amazing truth is the emerging of our part is a factor of time. That is why we have always heard in the world that everything happens according to time. Yes, so everything happens according to time, but even when the time arrives, everyone does it differently, because there is a relevance of the recorded part also. And then the most important thing is Baba. So the most important player is Baba. This is an interplay between souls, time and Baba. And in the end, when the cycle is about to complete, then Baba comes. And what does Baba do? Baba acts like the catalyst who helps us re-emerge that which is within us, but that which has merged. So we have our deity part, we have our virtues, but we were in possession of those virtues, we were in possession of all those qualities and powers. But now, because we have spent 2500 years in Ravan Rajya, we have not been in touch with them. So those virtues, those divine sanskars have not been used, because we have had yoga with the old vicious world for 63 births, remembering vicious, vicious co-actors, and remembering the weaknesses and the vices in everybody, and that has only triggered the vicious part in us. So now when Baba comes, Baba says, so you see, Baba has to help us re-emerge our part in which we were like a soul sitting thoughtless in the soul world, and that part which was divine in Satyug. So Baba helps us emerge that, and Baba behaves like the catalyst who brings about the reaction of, invoking that part in us. And Baba says that this pre-recorded part is always there in you, but when it gets merged, because 63 births you've only been in contact with that other part, with the vicious one, so all your virtues and all your qualities and your peaceful nature and happy nature have all gone down in you. It has merged, and now I help you emerge it. by making contact with the ocean of knowledge, ocean of purity, ocean of peace, ocean of love, our own knowledge, purity, peace, love, which is there in the soul, but now it is merged in time, it gets emerged. Yes, and this is why Baba says that I will come and I will say the same things to everybody, but then every soul will respond to it differently. Yes, and it is a factor of time and fortune that when Baba comes, you meet Baba. Yes, so again, Baba doesn't come. Baba doesn't come at any time arbitrarily. Time decides when Baba will come. So when it is time to be Sangam Yug, Baba comes. And at that time, Baba sows, Baba lays this field where every soul can get in touch with their divinity. But Baba says, it is your part again, if you have a part, if you were in Satyug, then you come here and you start interacting with Baba, and you start Baba and Baba's knowledge, Baba's virtues. When you make contact with them, then your knowledgeful, peaceful, virtuous self starts emerging or re-emerging. Do you get it? So is it clear whatever I am trying to say? Yes, so it is when time comes, when Baba comes, Baba helps us re-emerge that part in us. But and then what is effort? So what is effort? So when Baba comes and it is time and it is our fortune, only when these three things come together, then we come to Baba and we start listening to the Murli. But what is effort? Effort is when you know how to shift from a human to an angel to a deity. So it is a factor of time and Baba coming and your fortune that you get this knowledge. Is there anybody in the world who can bring himself about to take this knowledge? No. Until the time comes, until Baba comes, until your fortune calls, you don't receive the knowledge. So receiving the knowledge is an aspect of destiny. But then in the Murli, Baba is every day inspiring us and motivating us to do what Baba is telling us to do. So getting the knowledge is an aspect of destiny, but doing everything knowledgefully is an aspect of effort. Yes, so that is why when Baba comes, Baba is meeting fortunate souls. So we are all fortunate, that is why we are with Baba. So now, up to this point, our fortune, time, Baba, everything has come together and we have reached here. But after this, there is nothing about fortune. After this, it is effort. So the effort is to do what Baba tells you. So receiving the knowledge, coming to Baba, all of this is an aspect of destiny. Even if you searched for Baba for 2500 years, you did not find him. But it is destiny that brings you to Baba. But when you come to Baba, then what we do after that, that is effort. Because when we come to Baba, then Baba doesn't leave anything to speculation or anything, Baba is very clearly telling us, think like this, remember me, do this, don't do that. Baba is like holding our hand. So now there is nothing like, if it is destined, what if it is not, because now we have the ocean with us and Baba is doing everything for us. But whether we take that Srimad and make ourselves, that is effort. Okay? So is effort and destiny clear? Now when Baba comes and gives us all the directions, today Baba is asking us to check. Yes, check 5 points probably. So let's understand those. Baba says, first check, to what extent do I consider myself to be fortunate? Because you see, the fact is we are the most fortunate on earth, because we are sitting with Baba, we are sitting with the ocean of knowledge, virtues, power. We are sitting with the one who creates a deity out of a human. But the question is, do you consider yourself to be that fortunate? Because if you don't consider yourself to be fortunate, then you will not have the happiness that a Brahmin should have in Sangam Yuga. And happiness is the food of the soul. It is the nourishment of the soul. So there is great reason to have that nourishment. But do you consider yourself to be that fortunate? And you know, I sometimes see children these days, and there was one girl and she came crying to the center the day her 12th results were declared. And I asked her, what happened? Why are you crying? What marks have you got? Then she said, I have got 97%, and she just kept crying. And then I said, okay, if 97 can make you cry, then I think probably you should keep crying, because you have spoiled your thought process in such a manner that even 97 can't make you happy. And you know, in this world, we are constantly glorifying sadness. We are constantly glorifying sorrow. We are very proud of children who are not happy at 97. But we are not understanding that if a child is not allowed to be happy at 97%, then their capacity to be happy is gone. And such a child, when he finds Baba also, will he be happy? So Baba says, think about a child who gets 97% and cries, and you think there's something wrong with that child, and what are you doing, my children? You have got me, and still you are not considering yourself fortunate. So this is something that is something that Baba asks us to check. Do you consider yourself to be that fortunate? Because once we find Baba, then changing from a human to a deity is like, child's play. Because we just have to do as he says, just that. There is no information which is not there with us. Baba is the source of knowledge, the source of power, the source of virtues. We know how to draw in all of that. So we know everything that there is to know. We know the method to change from a human to a deity. And that is a very fortunate thing. But do you consider yourself to be fortunate is something that you have to think. How many of you think that I consider myself to be 100% fortunate? You have no doubt in your fortune, or you never, you never curse your fortune. Some are, I don't have this, my fortune is not that great. There's only one person raising the hand. So you have to always ask yourself, do I consider myself to be that fortunate? Because there is no greater fortune than this. And if you don't consider yourself to be fortunate after this, then there is no greater misfortune than this. So first thing is this. Second thing Baba asks us to check is, how much happiness do I have? And happiness is directly proportional to your realization of how fortunate you are. Because when you understand that you're fortunate, you will have happiness. Happiness doesn't come from physical attainments and achievements. Happiness is an aspect of realization. When you realize that Baba is mine, then you have happiness. So Baba says, ask yourself, and if you feel you don't have that kind of happiness, then churn the knowledge, churn who you are, churn who you have got, and come to that place of realization. Then third is, have I claimed my full inheritance from the Father? Now, how do you claim your full inheritance from the Father? Now, Baba has come, Baba is mine, and I can become the Vishwa Maharajan. Yes, so I can have the highest position in Satyug. But have I claimed it? How do you claim something? By being eligible for it. So am I becoming eligible by following Baba's Shrimat? Yes, so Baba came, Baba is giving Shrimat. But if I am not following it, how will Baba will donate Satyugi Rajai or what? Baba can donate knowledge, Baba cannot donate kingship. So with this knowledge, we have to become eligible for kingship. So ask yourself, how much am I following Shrimat and becoming eligible? How much am I claiming my inheritance? Fourth is, have I created heirs? So have I created those who can become kings? Because it's so some of us, we don't even care to create subjects. So we don't do any seva at all. That is something else. But if we are doing seva, what is my seva about? Is it just about creating subjects who just take some peace, take some happiness? So those who take everything in Sangam Yuga and not return, they will become subjects, because they will go and serve there. Somewhere you have to serve, yes? So are you creating those who only take service, or are you creating those who are taking the responsibility for service? If you are creating those who are only taking seva, then that is creating subjects for Satyug, Praja. But if you are creating those who are taking responsibility for seva, then you are creating, the heirs, those who will deserve kingship in Satyug. And Baba says, of course, there will be a lot of praja created, but also create some rajas. Because if no raja, only praja, then who will rule? So that will be a mismatch. So ask yourself, are you creating heirs? First is, are you claiming your inheritance? Second, are you making others also claim inheritance by being serviceable? Then fifth is, have I become a charitable soul by burning my sins away with the power of yoga? So am I doing enough yoga? Yesterday Baba says 8 hours. So am I doing enough yoga to burn away my sins? So do you understand how much yoga you need to burn away your sins? So you see that there is some amount of yoga you need to not do any more sins. So have you seen that if you just meditate in the morning, Amrit Vela, a little, maybe 15-20 minutes also you meditate. Then up to 12 p.m. in the afternoon, you will be peaceful and not react. And then 12 p.m. you take a recharge, again do some meditation, then up to evening you will not react. So that much of yoga you need to not create any more sins. Otherwise you'll be creating more sins. Yes, so there'll be boredom, there'll be vices, there'll be anger which will pull, your intellect and make you do things. But how much of yoga do you need to burn away sins? When your sins are burned away, then what happens is, even when old karmic settlements are coming, big karmic settlements, loss, relationship issues, financial issues, physical ailments, pains, even then you don't react. That is your stage when you have burnt away your sins. Yes, so have you done enough yoga to burn away your sins? Because sometimes you feel that, I don't have many sins, so there are only 5 issues coming up in the day and I'm taking care of them. So those are 5 issues coming today, but things come up suddenly. Yes, there are old karmic accounts which come up suddenly. And if you have not burnt away your sins, then when those things that come up suddenly, they will just shake you up. And they will not allow you to be in peace. And then you will think that I have been meditating for so long and I am getting disturbed. But have you been meditating just to manage the day? Or have you been meditating, keeping in awareness that I have 63 births of sins, and even if I can't see them today because they are not manifesting themselves, I have to burn away all of them. So have you been meditating enough to burn away 63 births of sin? Do you understand how much 63 births of sin is? So if you have done that much of meditation, only then can we cross the final scenes. So the final scenes of destruction, how will you cross them? When you have burnt away all your sins. So because at that time there will be many scenes, many things that will come up which will try to shake you up. But if you have burnt away all your sins, you will be able to stay peaceful and stable in that. So this is the checking that Baba is asking us to do, because this is something that we have found according to destiny. But are we making enough effort? And when we check and we understand that it's not what it should be, let's try to better it. And in today's Murli, Baba, so of course there is so much in the Murli, I'm not covering everything, I'm just talking about 1-2 points. But today Baba is using a word, detached observer. And Baba says, check as a detached observer. Yes. Now, what is a detached observer? So, a detached observer who sees everything the way it is. Yes. And whenever there is body consciousness, you don't see things the way they are. You see things from the filter of your body consciousness. Yes. And do you practice to be a detached observer? Now, these days, when you watch something on the news or on the television, even that is shaking you up. You are having an emotional reaction with that also. Yes, you are seeing an advertisement, you are seeing a drama, you are seeing something which is fictional. Even that you cannot see as a detached observer. You cannot see a drama as a drama. How will you see yourself as a detached observer? So while you're watching a drama, do you remember it's a drama? Yes. While you are listening to somebody, do you understand it's their opinion? It may or may not have anything to do with reality. Do you understand these things, that when somebody is saying something, it is their opinion? Somebody says this person is bad, this person is a cheat, thug. Do you understand that that's their opinion, and everybody's opinion is according to their sanskar? Or when somebody says this person is a bad person, you start thinking this is a bad person. Does it color your perspective? So do you know how to see a fiction as a fiction? Do you know how to hear an opinion as an opinion? If you don't know how to do that, how will you see your stage as a detached observer? You will definitely be biased in favor of yourself, and you will always feel that, we are listening to the Murli, but do we understand really where we are? Because there is so much that we can do, but we are not doing. But when you are in I and mind consciousness, you think that you are doing your best. But is your best really the best? For that, you need to be a detached observer to see it. And this thing doesn't come easily, because we are so biased in our buddhi. So we have to practice a lot. Practice being soul conscious so much that you will be able to see what you are doing, where you are at, and what will be your fortune. And only if you can check accurately can you change accurately. Okay. Om Shanti.